How's it going, guys? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Mamia. Now, last time, we actually had a pretty solid response, and a lot of you who have found this channel, found this series, are simply people who are looking for a way to express your love for the game, which is always a very, very good sign for me. Again, I usually save my Fridays for titles that I feel like just don't have a ton of hype, maybe from smaller developers, smaller platforms, whatever the case may be. Usually I save it for these types of things because some of the best visual novels aren't well known yet. And I want to be able to discover some of them. And so I'm really grateful that you guys have showed up. Hopefully you'll enjoy this playthrough as much as I'm enjoying it so far. Mamiya, definitely, it's a head scratcher so far. I think for every question I get kind of answered, which isn't even like all the way answered in any way, I get like a million other questions. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen here. So Keito, we kind of see him and a few other characters. We're seeing some recognizable faces from the intro with the funeral scene, but I'm not sure. I'm guessing that was in the past, but I just don't know. After the funeral scene, where we kind of got introduced to what I'm guessing is going to be our general cast, we start following Keito, and he's found a young man whom it seems he's in trouble. He's been kind of like he was found in a park in the rain and winter, which is very potentially deadly, and then he was found again in the same park with a wound, which has never been brought up again, so I don't know what that's all about. And Ryou is the guy's name, but he doesn't know anything else about himself because apparently he has amnesia. It seems like tropey, but I'm guessing that the fact that it's drawn attention to the fact that amnesia is kind of a trope, I think it means they're gonna be playing with it somehow. Maybe he's lying, or maybe it's true, but there's like a very clear reason for it. And also there's a really random reference to somebody called Mamia, which is like an invisible person, apparently. Somebody that Keito can see and interact with, and it's become normal to him, despite the fact that it's an invisible person. I want to know what that's all about. But yeah, we'll just jump right into it. Sorry for the recap, it was a little rambly, but let's just jump right in. Also, brace yourselves for my terrible voice acting skills. Anyway. Well, it's the cleaning done. Ryou's still at work, though. I finally got a whole day to myself with nothing to actually do. Hello? That's a delivery man. I'm coming! Okay. Samajima Satoru. Here, a special delivery of Hokkaido crabs. I don't even know how to eat crab. Not to worry, they come with instructions. Did you write them yourself, Miss Samajima? Samajima. Yes, even with the extra mile, I drew the pictures. Carrying a large styrofoam box, he headed off to the kitchen. Being one of my father's direct subordinates, Mr. Samajima would come over to the house quite frequently. He had always been a bit unique, even discounting the fact that he was a policeman. Okay, so, well, this will be interesting, because we have a person with amnesia, possibly runaway, no home to speak of, living in our house, and we have a good friend who's a police officer who just happens to be here. I mean, you think this would be an opportunity to be like, hey, I've got a weird situation here. Let's explain it and see what we can do about it, but I don't know. So, having fun living all by yourself? I'm still enjoying the novelty of it, but it has its drawbacks too. Well, if you ever get fed up, you're more than welcome to come over to my place. I'll handle all the chores, don't worry. Well, an image of Ryou flashes through my mind. I can't leave him alone. I appreciate the sentiment, but I can't leave the house unattended. Guess you got a point there. Mr. Samajima, I'm gonna get that down eventually. Begins to pull the crab apart with an astounding level of dexterity. And that was putting it lightly. His speed was out of this world. I'd never seen anyone pick apart a crab with that much skill. How's school lately? He turned his attention to me with his hands still busy working on the crab. Pretty fun. I'm slowly getting better at lacrosse. Yes! True sport right there. Actually, all sports are true sports, but that was the one I played. Yes! Is lacrosse actually becoming a thing in Japan? Like, that'd be really cool, but like, I've only heard it referenced like in Muv-Luv and now in Mamia, but that'd be awesome. It's a very fun sport. Like, if you had combined hockey and soccer, that's what lacrosse is. Anyway, I'm slowly getting better at lacrosse, and my classmates are all great. I'm glad to hear that. Mr. Samajima smiled at me without really changing his expression. Can I borrow your bathroom for a moment? Of course, go right ahead. He sure is taking a while. Oh? Mr. Samajima, did you forget where our bathroom was? Oh, Keito. The room Mr. Samajima was trying to enter was Ryou's room. Is something the matter? No, nothing. More importantly, I'm having a bit of a hard time with these crab myself. I was hoping you could help me. Oh, were the 40 pages worth of instructions not enough? What? You wrote 40 pages? I did, but you seem to haven't have read them. Don't worry, they're pretty straightforward. But, or could it be that there's something in this room you don't want me to see? In that moment, I could have sworn I saw a faint glimmer in Mr. Samajima's narrowed eyes. His unique antics often made me forget it, but he was still a policeman, and an elite investigator at that. His intuition must have been sharp as a knife. Oh, no. Then I suppose there's no harm in me opening this door, right? Huh? Okay, then. Yep. I was done for. Mr. Samajima was going to find out about Ryou. Wow, this sure takes me back. Huh? I timidly look up. The room looked clean and tidied up, as if no one had been living there. Mr. Samajima examined one of the pillars in the room, looking visibly moved. Do you remember? We used to use this to measure your height. Huh? Oh. It says here you were 150 centimeters tall just 4 years ago. And look at you now, a veritable giant. Come on, Mr. Samajima. You're almost the same height as me. Haha. This certainly brings back all kinds of memories. Mr. Samajima, look how big you've grown. I have to be careful not to get crushed. Could you please just leave? Feeling more than a little rattled, I ended up pretty much shoving Mr. Samajima out of the room. As my hands touched his back, I did certainly feel smaller compared to mine. In any case, I'm glad to see you're doing fine, Keito. Truth be told, I was a little worried. It would have been quite the incident if you had died from loneliness. I'm not dying that easily. Anyway, thanks for everything, Mr. Samajima. Don't mention it. You'll have to handle the rest of the crabs by yourself. With a bit of effort, Mr. Samajima forced his large body into his car. There's barely any space in here. Take care now, Keito. Bye, Mr. Samajima. God, I'm gonna need a bigger car. And with that, Mr. Samajima drove off into in a sardine can of a Mini. Well, why did he buy a Mini to begin with? That was close. Did someone come over? Ryou, when did you get back? Just now. Oh, by the way, I got some crab. We should have them for dinner. Crabs? You don't know what crabs are? They're these tiny red animals with claws for arms. You don't think I'm stupid, do you? Well, you have amnesia. I mean, come on, it's understandable. We don't know what you remember. We can have crab every day now. It'll be great. I really don't think crab meat is something you should eat every day. I mean, it's not bad, though. Good protein. That said, I almost couldn't believe how tidy Ryu's room was. It felt almost like he was keeping it that way so he could leave at any moment. To be ready for it every day. You couldn't find a single trace of him actually living in this room. I wonder where he goes every day. Ah, Ryou, what's going on? Did I wake you up? No. You're having trouble falling asleep then? Oh, that reminds me. How's your wound? Thank you for finally bringing that up. It's starting to heal up. I see. That's great. How long was he planning to stay here? Until his wound healed? Or until my parents came home? Or maybe until his memory returned? He had already become a part of my daily life. Couldn't even imagine a house without him now. I had a dream. A dream? Yeah, I think I've had it multiple times since coming here. Do you remember anything about it? Not really. That's just how it goes. You can have this amazing dream, but the moment you try to actually remember it, you realize you can't. Which is why I keep a dream diary. Alright, Keito's a little futzy in the head, but he's so much like me. Maybe that says a lot about me. But no, he plays lacrosse and he keeps a dream diary. I absolutely do both of those things. So my dream diary is very reactionary. It mostly is just, I make a point that when I wake up in the morning, if I have a dream that's memorable in any way, I write it down as soon as I can. I've got notebooks from my like youth, like back in high school, middle school, where I've got sporadic dreams that I've been keeping track of in there. Also books I've tried to write, or story ideas at the very least. And then, you know, as I got older and I got my smartphone, I now keep them in my smartphone. So I have a note section, and I'll wake up and I'll just type it out on the phone and save it in there and archive it a bit. I have incredibly vivid dreams, to the point where like they really, there's no aesthetic about them that really makes it like discernible that it's a dream, other than the fact that like there always seems to be a part of my brain that recognizes that this isn't real. So like I can be in very intense moments, and very like, even things can get like really scary, like heading towards a nightmare, but there's always a part of me that has an abort button in those dreams, you know? Like I rarely have what I call truly nightmares, because as soon as things start going sideways, I can just wake myself up or change the dream. I actually have semi-lucid dreams almost all the time where I can alter them. And then there are times where I really like understand I'm in a dream and I stay fully immersed in the dream. And then I have true lucid dreams where you literally can just do whatever you want. And those are amazing. But I only get to have those maybe once a year. Maybe, like, so I've had a couple, sometimes I've had it more than once a year, but usually that's about the average. I also have reoccurring dreams. So dreams where over the course of several nights, I will go back to sleep and I'll continue the dream where I left off. Kind of remembering everything that came with it. Because like it'll come with backstory, and like there'll be people in the dreams that I have no clue who they are in real life, but like in the dream I have like clear understandings of who they are, like where they came from, like how they're related to me. And those are the details I usually lose when I wake up, except for like the impression that like this is a person that I know very, very well. I don't know. I'm going off on a big tangent, but it's like a dream diary is important to me. And so I actually encourage you to do it if you've never taken the time. Set this up so that you have an option. Either put a place in your phone where you can record it, or keep a notebook next to your bed. And the next time you wake up and remember a dream, even if it's really, really fragmented and very like difficult to grasp, write out what you can. I think that just by practicing, you can actually teach yourself to remember your dreams a little better. And it's really fun to see what kind of stuff your brain comes up with when it's like switched off and recalibrating, because that's really what dreams ultimately are. It's just your brain kind of like cleaning itself and preparing for another day of work. And your processing part of your brain is interpreting freely, like as like the signals and the very like cleanup firings are happening within your neurons. We still don't know very much about dreams, but they're pretty cool and they're fun to think about and examine. One of my favorite things is like, I'm pretty sure if I had a quirk or a superpower, I think I know what it would be, because I have a dream where I have a power that's really interesting and unique. It's this, effectively, it's a way to open portals between two different places, but I do it by like kind of feeling out in like spaces in the air or on solid surfaces, like pathways that are connections between two distant points. But it's all instinctual, and I always feel like I have to like concentrate like with a specific part of my head. But then I kind of find like a tie point somewhere, and I can kind of utilize it to create a connection between the two, effectively making wormholes. But like it has its limits. It's like it's difficult. It takes time. But it's really fun to imagine and to have the recurring dream. And so like I like to think that if I ever lived in a universe where I could have a superpower, that would be it, just because it's come up multiple times as a power, not like associated with magic, but I feel like it comes from within. Anyway, enough of our rambling. I'm sorry. I can't help it. One of my favorite things you're going to find about this channel is as much about me as it is about the story. And I like sharing what comes to mind and what means a lot to me. So it was not a straight playthrough. It's me. It's sharing my experience and my thoughts. And immediately when he mentions a dream diary, I can't help but think about these wonderful, awesome dreams and worlds I get to explore. Anyway, let's continue with Keito. A dream diary? Yeah, I use it to just jot down all my dreams before I forget all about them. It's just a plain old notebook, really. After pausing to think for a moment, Ryou leans in closer to me. I want to hear about your dreams. Okay, there's this one dream I had 3 days ago. I flipped back a page in my notebook. God, it'd be cool. It'd be kind of weird, like, reading dreams to a person, but it's neat. It's a neat idea. Do I need to click here? Okay. I was fighting a beast. A beast? Yeah, and not the cute, cartoony type either. It was one that drilling saliva everywhere and smelled of rotten meat. I had no special powers to rely on, so I had to use my wits to try and defeat it. While I was struggling to find a solution, the beast ransacked the entire town and continued terrorizing its residents. So how did the dream end? I destroyed the supporting pillar of the tallest building in Roppongi, and it collapsed and crushed the beast underneath it. But while I was celebrating my victory, the sludge from the beast's remains coiled around me. And that's when I woke up. I closed my notebook and looked at Ryou, who seemed very much on the verge of saying something. You sure have some interesting dreams. Yeah, so do I. Fetch, man. Am I effectively the Keito of this story? I feel like it. Thanks. I do love dreaming. It's so much fun. You never know what could happen next. I see. I wish I could have dreams like that. Ryou? I want to hear what you dream about tomorrow. Tomorrow. The word got my attention. Sure, no problem. It means he's planning on being there tomorrow. There was a tomorrow. A tomorrow for the two of us. Keito. In the heavy drowsiness of slumber, I heard a voice. Mamia? I'm glad you noticed me. That goes without saying. What are you doing here? That young man seems to have lost his memories. My heart skipped a beat. Are you going to tell someone? Oh, no. I mean, you're the only one who can hear me anyway. That's a relief. I can never keep secrets from you. I'm actually in a bit of a pickle right now. I have no idea how to help him regain his memories. And you also worry about how long your life with him is going to last. Amazing. It's like you're reading my mind. I know everything about you. Mamia? What do you think I should do? You already know the answer, don't you? This world has no answers. Only desires and actions that can be taken to fulfill them. Keito, do you know what you want? What I want? Yes. You'll know what to do once you figure that out. That sounds difficult. The necessary course of action is always quite simple. It's only the details that make things appear more complicated. That's interesting. The philosophy of that is simply the fact that, like, it's the actions are often simple. It's the circumstances that make things complicated. For instance, I could go out and buy a car tomorrow. The trouble is that all the consequences about that, like having a new monthly payment, having to deal with insurance, having to get it registered, these are all complications that make it not so fun. But thanks to credit, I could just go and physically go buy a car. That decision is not that hard. It's accepting everything else around it. But, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting philosophy, but it's very simplistic and hardly applicable. Anyway, I think we've talked enough. Good night, Keito. Good night, Mamia. All right. I'm going to help you regain your memories. In the time we've been living together, is there anything you've remembered? Not really. I've been thinking about how to best solve your problem. I'm not sure how to help, but I want to aid you any way I can. I was being completely earnest, only to be met by Ryou's disinterested gaze. And that's why I had an idea. I gestured toward the things I'd laid on the table. Specifically, the shoes I'd been using at the club practice, a couple of books from my father's shelf, a plush toy I already allegedly played with when I was a toddler. Whew, excuse me. A pretty varied lineup in all. Do any of these ring a bell? Not really. Come on, at least take a closer look. If we find something you might have used, it can help jog your memory. Look, I'm doing this for you, and it's your memories we're trying to get back. The town. Huh? I don't think I was particularly attached to any one item. I was more concerned with the buildings lining my town, and people living inside them. At least that's how I feel. The town itself. But don't you say you went through every street and fine-tooth with a with a fine-tooth comb? I did, but I was talking about this town in particular. Meaning, I probably didn't live in this area, but I still felt a certain connection to it. So, with that settled, I'd like to check out the neighboring city. Ryou made a brief pause. I was once again forced to come to the painful realization that he genuinely didn't remember a single thing about himself. Got it. Without even thinking about it, I extended a hand toward him. Let's go visit the neighboring town. Ryou reached out and clasped my hand. I appreciate you bringing me here, but what is this? Huh? It's a lead. Yeah, I'm not blind. I'm asking why you even have something like that. It's for dogs. I mean, you know, I wouldn't want you getting lost. Are we seriously putting him on a leash? He used to belong to the dog we used to keep. Good thing I didn't throw it away. Anyway, please hold on to the other end. Ryou, we need to keep going. Whoa, don't pull so hard. Jeez. Anyway, it's pretty cold out here, even if the wind is howling. Oh. Give me a moment. Would you like me to carry that bag for you? You would? Oh, thank you very much. Don't mention it. Where would you like me to take it? Well, I was on my way to that corner store, so if you could just leave it to me. Sorry I kept you waiting. Take a look at this. I got us some peaches. Good for you. Oh, definitely. I love peaches. Anyway, let's be on our way. Jeez, what a honest soul. Fetch, man. I get the feeling something horrible is gonna happen to him because he seems too pure. Like he seems like a paragon. I bought 2 tickets and they were more expensive than any of the ones I'd ever bought before. Could barely contain my excitement. It felt like we were embarking on a grand old journey. You're not going to sit? No, I can't seem to calm down. Ryou glanced up at me as I was holding onto the handrail, then directed his gaze outside the window. We were passing one station after another. He watched the passing scenery rush by, but didn't get much of a reaction out of him. Recognize anything? It doesn't seem like we're quite there yet. It's okay, though. We still have all the time in the world. God, he's like a ray of sunshine. There are plenty more stations to go. Just let me know if you remember anything. Sure. We ended up reaching the last station without Ryou saying a single word. Blech, sorry. It was a factory town. We aimlessly wandered around under a cold winter sky. Didn't even know the name of the city. Neither of us spoke at all, partly due to the chilly weather. It made our lips dry and cracked. Every time I walk through this town, it makes me realize how empty it really is. I suppose it's a sign of the times. Our world might really be ending. I don't genuinely believe that, but I can't help but think about it. In the end, I might actually be wishing for it. I exhaled and watched my breath slowly dissipate into the air. Ryou remained silent for a while and simply stared into the distance. But just when I was about to suggest going back home, I noticed him parting his lips. I don't think I'd want the world to end, despite how cruel and unfair it can be. Even without any memories. Even if your life turns into a boring, meaningless routine. When you die, it's all over. His eyelids lightly trembled as in the wind as he uttered those words. I think it's really that if it's really that boring, it might as well come to an end. I want everything in my life to be interesting. You're awfully greedy. You think so? Only those at the top can think that way. It's selfish and arrogant. The wind picked up, ruffling our hair with a sudden gust. I mean, he's not wrong. Like, how can you be like, doesn't matter if the world ends or not, it's too boring anyway. It's like, what kind of, Keito is such an interesting person, but why would he believe that so much? What value was there in to mankind in a mundane world filled with nothing but hollow despair? I felt like our paltry scuffles had become the laughingstock of some invisible power. Narrowing my eyes in the strong wind, I licked my cracked lips and tried to moisten them. Okay. So he's become kind of a nihilist. Like, ultimately, his position's like, well, I mean, none of it really matters. So, like, even if it comes to an end, is that big of a deal? Is it that great of a loss? I knew it would only make it worse later on, but as long as the immediate feeling of discover was gone, I didn't care. In the end, we couldn't find anything that would help jog Ryou's memory. We were just a couple of children, powerless and insignificant. My heart ached seeing Ryou so visibly disheartened. Don't worry, I'm sure we'll find something tomorrow. Thanks. As baseless, irresponsible remark. Yet Ryou still mustered up the awkward smile before ultimately averting his pained gaze. I turned back towards the familiar road under the east sky. There was nothing in Tokyo. The city we lived in was empty. Huh? I woke up not in my bed, but in the living room. I must have dozed off on the sofa. I drowsily looked around and let my eyes grow accustomed to the darkness. I should head back to my room. Still feeling somewhat groggy, I made my way up the stairs toward my room. Shouldn't you be getting out of bed? Huh? Ah! I'm late! I tried waking you up multiple times. No way! Ah, jeez, there's no time to even grab a bite to eat. I gotta change into my uniform and leave right now. I made it! Good morning. Whoa, your hair's a total mess, dude. I didn't have time to brush it. Man, I can't believe I actually made it. Oh, you overslept? Well, that's a new one. I did. I didn't even have time to have breakfast. I'm starving. I spent the rest of the day feeling both sleepy and hungry. Not exactly my best day of school, to say the least. This is so embarrassing. I'm home. Welcome back. What's for dinner, Ryou? I got us a tuna bowl each. They were on sale at the store. Man, I'm so hungry. Just go wash your hands first, okay? Good night, Ryou. Good night. And just like that, days would come and go. Good morning. So, did you oversleep again? Yeah. An unchanging world, saturated with joy and fun. I'm home. Welcome back. Warm, gentle days, devoid of challenges and conflict. Good night. Night. I thought something would change with him here, but nothing did. No good. I can't remember anything. I see. Please don't blame yourself. Why don't we continue that game from where we left off? Sure. Okay. And so another uneventful day would go by, without Ryou's memory showing any sign of returning. Is there something bothering you, Keito? Is that you, Mamiya? No, I'm fine. I sat on the edge of the bed staring at the floor. I felt him smiling at me. I turned to look, but all I could see was empty space. It's alright, Keito. Come with me. I can show you any dream you desire. For you, I could become a valiant hero, or even the vilest of villains. So, what will it be tonight? I'm really enjoying this, you know. Mamia. But you know that, don't you? Yeah. Come. As I extended my arm, something immediately grabbed onto it, pulling me into the air. Okay, so Mamia can control dreams and has a physical touch. So that rules out ghost theory. Whoa. Do not be afraid. You should be more than familiar with this sensation. All you have to do is remember the Christmas lights, the delicious treats, the restless anticipation of waiting for presents. See, there's nothing to be afraid of. I opened my eyes and saw the entire city below me. Amazing! Mamiya, this is incredible! Try to swim forward, but don't let go of my hand. Following Mamiya's instruction, I gently glided through the night sky. I feel so free. You always have been, Keito. You simply kept your true powers buried and hidden. But that's hardly a problem when you're with me, is it? Mamiya! I squeezed his hand and felt its warmth. But that instant snatched me of my strength, forcing my body to start wobbling in the sky. My, look at the time. You must have tired yourself out quite a bit. Rest now, Keito. Mamiya. I'll be waiting for you here in the land of dreams. Okay. So this entity might be a cognitive-based one. Kind of like a persona from Persona 5. A cognition that exists somehow in the undergrowth or of his psyche. So perhaps it is just like a hallucination, but considering the fact that Mamiya is the name of this entire game, I'm guessing it's gonna be more than just like his cognition. Like it's not just gonna be his his story that we're gonna be seeing through this having a perspective with Mamiya in it somewhere. But what's interesting is that whatever Mamiya is, Mamiya apparently has the ability to like contact and interact with them during the day, and specifically has power to kind of guide their dreams in their sleep. So what exactly is Mamiya? Like almost like, I don't want to call it a fae creature, but fae seems to be the mythology that seems closest to what I'm picturing here, but we'll have to see. Even after I'd woke up, I still felt like I was floating in the air. What's so funny? Ah, Ryou, how long have you been there? I knocked on your door like a million times. Were you having a good dream? Huh? Well, yeah, kinda. That's so. I want to hear about it later. Leah's expression would always turn unusually gentle whenever I talked about my dreams. I wasn't really sure why, though. It made me feel a little embarrassed, to be honest. Ever since I had that dream, I felt convicted that everything would turn out alright. Convinced, sorry. For some reason, Mamiya would never fail. Mamiya would never fail to make me feel that way. Hey, Suo. That's his like nickname, I'm guessing. Suo. Yeah. What is it? What are you doing so late at night? Huh? What do you mean? Oh, I guess it must have been a misunderstanding on my part. Sorry. It's fine. Ryou lowers his gaze and was seemingly deep in thought. I felt like I had to do something to give him a peace of mind. Good night, then. If you're having trouble sleeping, would you like me to get you something to drink? I'm good. You should get some sleep yourself. Okay. So I wonder if he's not actually sleeping, and if Mamiya's not actually like controlling his dream, but simply like actually having him fly. I wonder if Ryu's alright. Normally you'd go straight to the hospital if you had amnesia. Wait a second. Why didn't that occur to me until now? I don't know. Because you're kind of an airhead? I don't know. Can he go to a hospital by himself, though? He has no money. And who knows what his insurance situation is. What are you going on about? I'm talking about you and your... Make some space on the table. Ryou, when did you... I bought us something to drink. You what? Look, I changed my mind. Then I figured I'd also get something for you. Ryou was holding two mugs, a hot steam emerging from the muddle that outlined his face. Okay, interesting phrasing there. I'm guessing is like it's describing like the kind of like concerned look. Thank you very much. Careful there, it's hot. Tastes pretty good. A faintly sweet aroma spread across my mouth. I see. Are you still writing in your diary? Huh? Yeah, I did yesterday too. Can I see? Sure. Under the light of the small lamp, Ryou began flipping through the pages of my notebook. Do you like it? That was a really high pitch. Do you like it? Yeah. Having someone read what you wrote was a little embarrassing. Okay, I think you've seen enough. Hey, I'm not finished yet. Yes, you are. Actually, why don't you start your own dream diary? You're only saying that because you want to read it. Well, I'm curious what kind of dreams you'd have. Guess I'll consider it then. I'm really looking forward to it, just so you know. Think you can sleep now? Huh? I've been watching you during the day. You seem awfully drowsy. I figure you were sleep deprived. Oh. Hopefully, I'm just overthinking it though. I'll wash the cups. Thank you very much. Good night. Oh, good night. Good night. Huh. Turns out Ryu's way more adult than I am. I see. It's that dream again. Huh. Coming back from school, I found Mr. Samajima blowing soap bubbles in front of my house. Oh, welcome home, Keito. Mr. Samajima, what's that? Just a little something I picked up at the pharmacy. Really? That brings back so many memories. Want to give it a try? He hands me a yellowish green straw and a pink container with some soap bubbles and liquid inside. Blowing bubbles, man. It's one of those things where like you think about it, you're like, that sounds boring. But then you do it and you're actually, it's more fun than you think. Not now. I'm a bit exhausted after school practice. I see. Now, am I the only one thinking that he's wearing his pajamas? Why is he wearing his pajamas? Samajima proceeded to exhale a long breath, which produced a relatively large bubble. However, it burst before it could leave the straw. Sorry. You can have the rest. Huh? I'm not a child, you know. It should be perfect for you and your friends to play around with. In any case, I'll be on my way now. Didn't you come here for something? Not really, no. And just like that, Samajima drove off in the car that wasn't his usual Mini. Seriously, though. Soap bubbles like this are the last thing I'd expect him to try. Soap bubbles, huh? Mamia! Come on, blow some bubbles for me. You want me to do it alone? Why not join me? You can be awfully mean at times, Keito. How am I supposed to do it? I'm invisible. I just want to see you do it. I'm not asking for much, am I? If only I'd asked when Mr. Samajima was still around. Playing with soap bubbles at 15 was more than a little embarrassing. Well, fine, but only for a little bit. So wait, if Mamia is invisible, why can't Mamia blow? Maybe Mamia isn't like corporeal at all, but he still has a way of grabbing Keito, but maybe that is simply when he's dreaming. I exhaled into the straw, making a whole bunch of bubbles pop out from the other end. They slowly continued drifting in the air before ultimately melting into the evening sky. Excited, I continued making more and more of them. They're beautiful. They sure are. The soap bubble membrane glimmered in wondrous colors. I feel almost like I'm dreaming. Mamia? Through the thin layer of soap bubbles, the world took on a rainbow hue. Even the front of my house felt fresh and different all of a sudden. As I continued intensely staring at it, I felt almost like I could glimpse Mamia. Mamia! I called out to him. A fierce gust of wind swept past us, blasting the soap bubbles far into the distant sky. I think there was a song like this. I wasn't quite sure where it came from, but the soft melody of a popular nursery rhyme filled my ears all of a sudden. I followed the words in my head. For the first time ever, I felt sad not being able to see Mamiya's expression. I won't break you, I swear. Not even I really understood why I ended up saying that. But I had to protect Mamiya, and I wasn't the only one who could do it. As long as you continue to feel that way, I won't disappear. As long as there's even one soul in this world that continues to feel that way, I won't ever be gone. I will. I wish I could embrace you. This is the first time anyone has said that to me. Mamia, come to my side. Slowly, as if trying to touch a soap bubble, I reached out with my hand. Are you there? Yes, I am. Can I hug you? Yes. I awkwardly embraced the space where Mamia is supposed to be. I couldn't feel any warmth, just a cold winter's air. Still, I wanted to embrace you. So warm. You're so warm, Suo. Whoa, wait, what? That's what Ryou calls us. So, Is Ryou Mamiya, maybe? That's weird. That's weird. That's weird, right? That's really weird that Mamiya used that nickname, right? I'm not crazy, right? That's something important. I had lost count of how many days it had been since Ryou came to my house. Today, like on most days, we had dinner and spent some time relaxing in front of the TV. What's this? Ryu's eyes widened like saucers. He stared intensely at the screen. Huh? That's the sea. Oh, you don't know what the sea is? Well, it's made of salt water and... His usual retort never came. Instead, Ryou kept focusing on the screen. After a brief silence, he finally looked up at me. Is there a sea nearby, so? His amber eyes flashed like daggers. I couldn't help but gulp when faced with that sheer intensity of his gaze. The sea, huh? Yeah, I think so. I doubt it's even that far. So it's nearby. After uttering that, Ryou once again felt completely silent. I'll go with you. Huh? You were thinking of going alone, weren't you? I can't allow you to do that. But you've got school to think about. One day won't make a difference. I've never skipped class before, but it's never too late to start, huh? Please take me with you. Oh, wait a minute. His last name is Suo. Or his first name. I don't know. It's hard to tell. But that makes a lot more sense. Never mind. Oh, I'm just losing it. It's not his nickname, it's his name. Oh man, I bet I was driving you guys crazy with that one. Because it was right on the screen all the time. Do whatever you want. See, Suo Keito. So, oh, I will. The next morning, we left the house and maps in hand. We were searching for the sea and something else too. Something vague and undefined. Ooh, man, we got lots of these like cool looking stills. That said, it'll be quite a walk from here. You sure you'll be okay? Don't underestimate the endurance I've built up at work. If anything, I'm worried about you. Come on, I play lacrosse every single day. Take that. Stop flailing around. We're in this together. You're right, I'm sorry. I'm so excited. Remember, we're not going on vacation or anything. I'm serious about this. Yeah, I know. A gust of cold wind slipped past us. It ruffled our hair and made the reeds around us dance. The sun was blinding me. I closed my eyes out of a reflex. Glad to hear that. Ryu's gaze, however, remained unflinching. We'd finish something this time. We'd find something this time. I was sure of it. There was a thrilling adventure waiting for us at the end of the road. I just knew it. Ryou was acting as mysterious as ever, but his kindness had touched me. Even our destination was the perfect fit for our quest, a wintry seaside. It'd be a wonderful story in which our combined efforts helped Ryou gain his memories. I could almost smell it in the air. This time, for sure. Things would get interesting. I can hardly wait. Me too. Ooh. Interesting. Interesting. I think we're going to go ahead and end it here for now. It's a little bit shorter, but I feel like we're about to stumble on something interesting, and I don't want to get too caught up and like go for too overly long. I think we've got a good establishing, like, kind of what's happening here with Keito and Mamia. We have a lot more inside of Mamia, although still, again, far more questions than answers. And Ryou, we have a potential hit on what could be triggering his memory. So hopefully we'll see what's going to be on there. But oh, what a terrible secret we're about to unearth. That's what I'm saying we should wait for next time. We're gonna get some kind of revelation. It's really playing it up. So if it's nothing, I guess that'd be a good way to play off our interest. But I have the feeling it's going to be a lot more dire and interesting than that, so I'm looking forward to it. So thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. And a special shout out thank you to my patrons, who are the ones that helped me pick Mamiya. So those of you who are enjoying this series, keep in mind that the patrons were the ones that helped me narrow down the list of like potential games we could play, and were the ones that helped me select Mamiya. So give them a big thank you in the comments. If you're ever interested in supporting the channel directly, Patreon's a great way to do so. You get behind the scenes stuff like the patron cast, and also get to help me with selecting the next titles that are coming on our various slots for the series. But again, that doesn't happen a whole lot, so don't feel like it's going to be common, because, you know, visual novels take time, and dissecting them takes time, and I don't like making videos too long, and so that's another reason why it's good to just keep that in mind, that it's only something you should do if you want to directly support me. It's not something I require nor expect. I'm just grateful to those who have done so, and I look forward to continuing to see your support, regardless of what form it takes, because frankly, watching the videos, leaving likes and comments, it's so much help. So thank you guys so much. Hopefully you have something interesting to share with me today. Not a whole lot happened, and I did go on a ramble a bit, so I hope you don't mind that. But like I said, like, we got some interesting, like, kind of stuff to think about and chew on. So we're gonna jump into the sea and our approach of it and see what happens next, with a fresh mind next week. So thank you guys so much for being here today. Thank you so much for being a part of the channel. So until the next video watching me, I'm Mamiya next. I'll see you there.